Hey everybody, Chuck Barone here. It is Tuesday, September the 26th, 2023, and the markets today having a sad, But before I get rolling on all this stuff, I got to talk about a lot of stuff today. Just want to welcome everybody to the show, and as always, thank you guys for your support, man. We couldn't do it without you guys. All right, so let's talk about these markets today. Not much good news at all in the markets today. Not a lot of data really coming out. The big one, of course, consumer sentiment, or consumer confidence, I should say. Consumer confidence numbers tanking, spooking the market. The market actually, it's been such a schizophrenic thing, but the market's actually coming to terms and coming to grips with the idea that rates are not going back down to zero. And they're not going to go, and when they do go down, it's going to take a while before they start to go down. So the market's having a sad today, selling off like crazy. The Dow dropping 388 points, back under 34, significantly under now, 33,618. The S&P falls 63 points. That's the broader market. It's a pretty big hit. 4,273 on the S&P. The NASDAQ falls 207 points, 13,063 on the NASDAQ. Not a good day for the markets, man. Wipe out Central. And if some of this stuff, I think the market's just starting to digest this fact. Once they really come to grips with it, and if recession follows, bombs away, man. These markets are really going to look pretty shaky. Bond market today, more weirdness in the bond market. Pretty quiet day compared to stocks today, though. The 10-year goes up 2 basis points, sitting at 4.56. The 2-year basically unchanged, 5.13%. So, now you got a 57-point inversion, very, very slim, narrowing. It was once, I think it was around 120 basis points, shrinking up. Looks like longer-term rates moving up faster right now than shorter-term rates, especially at, 2-year. The 10-year moving up faster than the 2-year. So the bond market upside down, staying weird and crazy. Dollar, the dollar was up today. Back up over 106 on the index, now 106.17. Dollar obviously getting the clue. Rates are going to be high and stay high for longer. So the dollar is going to get stronger. That's just the way it works. As a result, though, of a stronger dollar, metals getting beat up today. Gold and silver falling. Gold down $15. Ugh. Sitting at $1,900. 10 cents per ounce. Silver falling 26 cents today, $22.83 for an ounce of silver. Tough numbers, man. Gold now down $100 from its peaking around $2,000. Silver down around 10% from a peak of around $25. So these metals been getting beat up pretty good by a strong dollar. But hang in there, guys. This might be a little bit of a buying opportunity, because when that dollar comes back down to earth, and it will, gold and silver are going to take off. Oil today, bucking the trend, actually up today, up small, 98 cents per barrel, sitting at $90.66 for a barrel of West Texas Intermediate. Oil prices high, stubbornly high. And really, what's funny to me is the climb really started when Russia and Saudi announced that they were going to extend their cuts. So there were no new cuts. They just announced they were going to extend existing cuts. And oil took off like crazy. That's kind of an odd one to me. Why wouldn't it take off when they made the cuts, right? Maybe they're figuring, we can discount that because it's only for 3 months. We'll see how long Russia and Saudi can suck it up with prices at $90, 1 million barrels a day. You're talking a lot of money, right? Every 10 days, $1 billion roughly. So we'll see how long they want to hold out and not grab that cash. And as we know, these oil cuts are always discounted later because none of them ever stick to their quotas. They all produce more than they're supposed to. So we'll see how it all works out. Bitcoin today down small, down $124, sitting at 26,224. I saw an article today, I haven't had a chance to get to it, on Barone's, talking about sleepy Bitcoin, what's it going to take to wake it up. I'll get to that. We'll talk about Bitcoin again another day. Okay, so markets today. The big data, consumer confidence, totally kabloom. falling from 108.7 on the index in August to 103. Analysts had expected it to be down, but only to 105.5. Now they're blaming uncertainty, consumers not sure, feeling a little more uncertain about the markets, a little more uncertain about interest rates, the payments they're going to be making. Consumers unhappy, obviously, with higher gas prices. That's got to be the one thing. If you're running for office, Joe Biden, gas price is going to sink you, buddy. Not going to be because you're too old. Not going to be because of anything else. It's going to be because of high gas prices. I don't think anything makes consumers more angry than high gas prices. So, consumers' confidence in the crapper. If consumers lose faith in this economy and they start to pull in their horns, well, what does that say about their perfect soft landing, guys? I told you, man, cracks are going to start to appear. This is a very, very, very fragile thing the Fed is trying to pull off. I doubt they're going to be able to do it. A lot of people have a lot of faith in it. The markets certainly do. I don't know, man. I don't think this soft landing, perfect landing is going to be as possible. Not when you have a human factor involved. And you got a lot of different opinion at the Fed. Neil Cash Carey, my buddy Neil Cash and Carey coming out today, joins a longer list now of Fed talking heads coming out talking about another increase this year. I think that's getting to be pretty much something that's going to be more and more looked at as a certainty coming up in November. But he went on to say there's a 40% chance that the Fed must raise rates meaningfully. Well, the lame-ass media didn't quite get Neil and didn't ask him what the hell meaningfully means. But I can tell you what it means to me. And it means probably, maybe a half point increase instead of a quarter. Maybe eliminating all the cuts next year and adding in a couple of increases. However it works out. This guy's, as much of a publicity hound as he is, he's probably right on the ball here because we know that inflation's going the wrong way. And masking over it, denying it, that's not going to really solve the problem in any way. So, now they're going to start preparing us more and more. First of all, they're going to cram this extra rate increase down our throat and make sure we understand this is a reality. Markets will have to adjust to that because right now it's completely priced out. And then they're going to have to factor in a pretty good chance of more increases coming, which the market is already factoring in 4 cuts next year. And even the Fed themselves says it's going to be 2 at the most. Now, they can change that, obviously, and it could end up being 4. But at this point, it certainly doesn't look like that, and the data we're getting doesn't say it's a great time to be cutting rates, right? So it's just going to be a fascinating tug-of-war going on. You got Jamie Dimon coming out today, said that the world is not ready for 7% rates. Where in the hell is he getting 7% rates from? We're at 5.35 overnight. He thinks there's a possibility the Fed could go as high as 7? Why would he say that? Right? He said from 0 to 2% was no problem, easy. 0 to 5, also, okay, easy. He said 7% might be too much. Where in the hell is he getting 7% from? Is he thinking maybe mortgage rates, because that's where they are around 7% right now? Is he thinking that the Fed's going to raise rates? Where does he get these numbers? He warned in that same speech that stagflation is on the way. Man, that's the worst of all worlds, guys. High interest rates and high inflation with big unemployment and economic just sitting there, the economy not really growing. Wow. Well, and then they wonder why consumer confidence is tanking, with uncertainty being the number one reason. Well, look at this you're getting here. You get Fed saying they're going to have to raise rates. You got one of the biggest bankers in the world saying that the market's not ready for rates to go higher. The whole world upside down, guys. It's just getting worse and worse, man. I was reading today, Target announces they're closing 9 stores due to theft and violence in their stores. Now, I got to say, retailers closing stores because of theft in their stores, that's a new phenomenon, guys. This is something that's now getting to be an everyday news event. Used to be, stores always had people going to steal. Okay, they called it breakage, and they always factored in a certain percentage for breakage, and they would adjust their prices accordingly to make up for that breakage. But apparently, because we have political dumbassery going on, and a whole bunch of other different factors weighing in on this, but mainly political dumbassery, now shoplifting isn't really being prosecuted very much, especially in some big cities, which is causing giant organized theft deals, driving stores out of business and out of those areas. So 9 more stores going down, a new phenomenon that we're getting to see every day. It's like a volcano erupting every day, guys. It's just not supposed to happen, but is. I was reading another article too that made me kind of laugh a little. China, our friends, the Chinese, continuing to crater their economy, bro. I don't know how they're going to save it. Evergrande misses another giant bond payment today. Country Walk underwater. Their Chinese real estate sector tanking. And you guys, I don't know if you know the story, but what they did back in 2008 and 2009 when we had our real estate crash here, the Chinese Communist government decided they didn't want to expose their people to that kind of pain, and that kind of real estate collapse we had here. So they went and the government spent bazillions of dollars building these ghost cities. Giant cities of high-rises with nobody living in them to keep employment high, to keep construction going, to keep property prices high. Well, no free lunches in this world, guys. So here comes the backlash now. As Chinese real estate, they're going to get now what we got back then. And we'll see how they deal with it. You know, having an authoritarian government in a situation like that, where the people start to get restless, who the heck knows what could happen there, right? Before I go today, one last little bit of happy today. I was reading an article, Fox Business News, echoing Chuck, your host, saying that the era of cheap money is over, that Americans are going to be forced to adapt to a world where savers are rewarded, but borrowers face much steeper payments on everything from credit cards to mortgages to student loans. That's what I've been telling you guys. The way of the world, what we've been doing here in the United States, especially since 2008, with these 0% interest rates. This is an experiment that's never really been tried like this. Typically, in a normal world, borrowers putting money away are rewarded because the bank lends that money out and gives the saver a portion of the returns in interest. So savers rewarded. Debtors, on the other hand, typically because they don't have the savings, now they're in the hole, they have negatives, right? They're borrowing money, and especially for consumption, which used to be heavily frowned on, well, now they're going to be punished for that behavior. And they're going to pay significantly higher payments. And the good news is, this is going to cause a pretty big change in behavior and a way of thinking where this whole idea of, you know, carrying $10,000, $20,000 of credit card debt is okay. You know, being in debt up to your eyeballs is okay. Borrowing money for the most frivolous things is okay. These credit cycles that are like this always end the same way, guys. And it's never, ever happy news. So those of you who've been listening to the show, paying attention to what we've been saying, you guys are in great shape right now. My hat's off to all of you. Those of you who haven't been listening, now the mainstream's into it, guys. So no, we're probably on the right track here. Now is the time to start stashing that money, man, as much as you possibly can. And looking out very closely at your balance sheet to make sure you're not adding on any new debt and you're taking a little bit of your extra cash to make extra payments on principal on your existing debt if you possibly can. Getting out of debt's a good thing. Anyway, guys, that's it for the day. We'll be back tomorrow to bring you guys the news you need. It'll start getting a little bit heavier tomorrow as more and more data comes out. I think we get GDP tomorrow. So we'll see where the markets go tomorrow. Wild one today. We appreciate your support as always, guys. If you can, hit the like button. It changes the algorithms around, helps us get our videos out in front of more viewers. As always, hit me up in the comments. Ask your questions there. And until tomorrow, take care. Thanks.